Welcome to the Quick Start tutorial series for Visual3DPRINT 2015, brought to you by Microsoft. Today we'll be creating a cavity block. We will perform the following basic steps to complete this tutorial. First, we will launch Visual3DPRINT and open the part file. Then, we will diagnose the mesh for possible problems. After that, we'll use Stitch and Close to combine and fix the mesh. We'll use Reduce to simplify the mesh, and then we'll create a box for the cavity block. Finally, we'll subtract the mesh from the box to create the cavity. Let's begin by launching the Visual3DPRINT 2015 module. From the Home ribbon bar, select the Application Manager icon from the Plugins pane. Check the box next to Visual3DPRINT and then pick OK. You will see the Visual3DPRINT menu appear on the Home ribbon bar. Drop down the menu and then select Browser. The Visual3DPRINT browser will appear docked on the left of the screen. Now, select the Mesh Modeling ribbon bar and we see all of the Visual3DPRINT command icons are located here. The Meshes pane contains Mesh Creation Tools. The Model pane contains Mesh Editing Tools. The Inspect and Modify pane contains analysis and additional editing tools. The Repair pane contains various tools for fixing your mesh model. The 3D Print pane contains tools for fitting, checking, exporting, and printing your mesh to a 3D printer. Now, let's load the part model for this tutorial. From the Visual CAD menu, select Open. Find the part file named carmodel.vcp located in the Quick Start folder and then pick Open. Let's start off by setting our display mode. From the View toolbar, we'll select Shaded Display. This will allow us to see the mesh model more clearly. Now, from the Browser toolbar, select the icon for Toggle Printer Volume Visibility to make sure the display of the printer volume is turned off. From the browser, we see that this model contains over 300 individual mesh objects. The first thing we want to do is perform some diagnostics. From the Repair pane of the Mesh Modeling ribbon bar, select Diagnose. Now window select the entire mesh model and then right-click or press Enter. The Diagnose dialog will appear below the browser. Using the default selections, pick the Run Checks button. We see that there are 3 sets of checks. These include edges, triangles, and vertices. The results of each check are color-coded for easy recognition on the mesh model. For example, Diagnose found over 25,000 open edges, which are assigned the color red by default. For now, we'll pick the Cancel icon to close the Diagnose dialog. We can fix the open edges quickly. From the Repair pane again, select Stitch and Close. Now window select the entire mesh model again and then right-click or press Enter. The mesh is repaired automatically. Notice in the browser that there is now only one mesh in the data tree with over 150,000 facet triangles. Now we'll select the Diagnose tool again, select the mesh and then right-click or press Enter. Using the default selections, pick the Run Checks button again. We see now that there are 0 open edges. Pick the Cancel icon to close the Diagnose dialog. Now that we have only one mesh, let's simplify it some before moving on. This time, from the Inspect and Modify pane, select Reduce. Select the mesh and then right-click or press Enter to display the Reduce dialog. We'll adjust the slider to reduce the mesh by 25% and then pick Reduce. With the mesh selected in the data tree, we now see that the total number of facet triangles is reduced to 116,000. Now we'll create our cavity block. In Visual CAD, right-click on ISO View 1 and then select the Quad Viewport option. Then, from the Meshes pane, we'll select Box. We want to pick 2 diagonal points to define the base of the box. First, from the Visual CAD Status toolbar, select Grid Snap and then activate the right view to work in. For the first corner of the base, we select the grid point that is above and on the center line of the mesh. For the second corner of the base, we select the grid point that is below and to the right of the mesh. making sure that half of the mesh is completely enclosed by the base of the box. Now, a third point is needed to define the height of the box. For this, we switch to the top view and select a grid point that is behind and to the right of the mesh, again, making sure that half of the mesh is completely enclosed by the height of the box. Now, we'll activate ISO View 1 to see the box more clearly. To create our cavity block, we'll subtract the mesh from the box we just created. From the model pane, pick Subtract. The command prompt says, Select Mesh Set to subtract from. For this, we select the box and then right-click or press Enter. Now the prompt says, Select Mesh Set to subtract. For this, we select the mesh and then right-click or press Enter to view the results. This completes Chapter 3 of the Quick Start tutorial series for Visual 3D Print 2015, brought to you by Mexsoft. For further assistance, you can visit the online help supplied with the program or visit www.mexsoft.com for additional tutorials. Thank you.